Hi friends, how are you today? So first off, today, Tuesday, January 30th, is my 30th birthday. And in honor of that, I thought I would do a recent major financial wins and fails recap for you. I'm talking the whole of 2017. It's only the first month of the year right now, and as I was going through my budgets for tax purposes, I found a couple things that I am not so proud of, and a few that I am like, go Sarah, it's your birthday. Literally, as you're seeing this. 2017 was a really fantastic year for me, and 2018 I think is going to be even better. In just a couple of days, I will actually be going to do my debt-free scream on the Dave Ramsey Show in Nashville, Tennessee, live in studio. That's Friday, February 2nd in the 2 p.m. hour. The show runs from 1 to 4 p.m. Central Time, and that's 2 to 5 Pacific Standard, I believe. So make sure to check me out there. You can watch the show live on youtube.com/Dave Ramsey Show. And of course, I will be shooting as much as I possibly can and showing you as much as I can from Nashville. Some of my friends are coming up, and we're gonna kind of make a weekend out of it, because that's the kind of thing I get to do when I'm debt free, is go away for the weekend and have some fun. So all that said, let's look back on the awesome things that I did in 2017 and the not so awesome things that I did in 2017. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. We are 25,000 people strong now here on Budget Girl in this money making, debt-free living family, and I'm trying to teach you guys how to be financially fearless and frugal and have a super fun life. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's jump in to 2017 wins and fails. Let's start off with the fails, because there aren't quite as many of them, and it's more fun to get them out of the way first. The first thing that I did that was a total and utter fail was agreeing to do some freelance money articles for a website. I super overcommitted myself, which I am not that prone to do. I've, managed to put up videos every week on YouTube for the past 3.5 years at this point. And I consider myself a very driven person. And if I agree to do something, then my word is my bond and I'm gonna get it done. I thought that it would be easy to do. After all, I am a writer. That is my day job. But it was too much to keep my day job and have some sort of social life and do Budget Girl and try to add on that freelance, and it sucked all around. I did a couple of months worth, I made a couple $100s, but at the end of the day I had to say, listen, I'm not gonna be able to commit to this after I gave them a reasonable amount of time, but I can't do it. And so that wasn't good in that I don't have that extra income, but it was more not good because I wasn't realizing my own personal boundaries. I don't want to get burnt out. I think that's a terrible way to go about life. Now, if I were still in debt, that might have been something that I wanted to make time for. I might have prioritized that way of making money over some of the other fun stuff that I'm doing now, which mostly involves having a life. Fail number 2. I attempted to fight a toll ticket that I got when I went to Houston. I went through several toll stations and I was told it's no big deal. They'll just send you your fee essentially for going through there. But turns out in Texas, that's a trick, and they don't do that. They actually wait about a month and then they send you a thing. And if you don't essentially pay that toll with a fee already on it, then they'll add an additional $35 to each fee. It turned what would have been like a $2.75 toll into a $100+ ticket. And I could, if I had just paid it right away when it came in and it was like a $40 ticket, I would have been fine. I would have been out $40, but instead I decided to attempt to fight that, and it turned into a $100+ ticket. In this particular instance, by waiting and by attempting to fight it, I ended up having to pay a lot more money, and that still stings just a little bit. I've since gotten Texas tags and easy tags for my car, so I can just drive through any toll. They take the picture, they take it out of an online account, because I've learned my lesson. And sometimes that's all you can do, is learn your lesson. Fail number 3 for 2017 was shortly after I moved to Texas. I started working at Texas A&M, where I still work, and I decided to get a bicycle to ride around campus because a lot of people do that, and it's easier. I have to park really far away from my office, and while I can't bike from my car to my office, sometimes I have to run around campus, and it's a little easier to do on bike or in a little go-kart thing that the college owns. I didn't have the license at the time to drive that, I do now. So in kind of a tizzy of being new to campus and wanting something shiny and getting disparaged by not being able to find any good deals online, I went to a little bike shop. I was actually told that the kind of bikes that you can get at Walmart that seem perfectly serviceable and that I rode as a child are complete crap, and that you're gonna have to replace them every year. You should go to a bike shop, which there you can get a bike that'll last you for like 10+ years, up to your lifetime if you take good care of it. I'm all about buying the best quality that you can afford for something that you'll use, and not buying crap over and over again that you'll keep having to replace and saving money in the long run. What I didn't realize is that I'm not using my bike that much. I got caught on a bad day or something, and I was kind of competing for the owner's attention with somebody else in the store, and I ended up getting a $200 used bike. It's a very nice brand and everything, and I got upsold on a little basket for the front because I'm a girl. That basket is adorable. And a new seat for it, and he almost upsold me on wheels too. By the time I walked out, it was $270. I paid cash, of course, but I've used that bike about 5 times, and I should have waited for some sort of like Craigslist deal. I should have been patient. I was just sick of walking around campus. Huge fail to spend $270 on a bicycle that I almost never use. Those are my biggest fails of the year. All in all, they are not that bad. It's probably less than $500 or so in fails if you account in the time that was kind of wasted with me worrying and spending all the time writing that I could have been doing other things that would have either made me more money or brought me more peace and rest. But under $500 in general in fails for a year is really not that bad at all. So now let's talk about the wins, because the wins are way more fun. First huge win is that I got a new job in 2017, making more money than I ever have before, and in a city that was more keyed to the stage of life that I am in and the type of lifestyle that I want. So obviously I moved from Mena, Arkansas, which had about 5,000 people in it, to College Station, Bryan, Texas, which has about 200,000 people in it. There are people my age here, there are people in my stage of life here, and I'm making a lot more money here. I was making about $35,000 when I lived in Mena as an editor of newspaper, and now I'm making $44,000 working for a university with an amazing benefits package. While I was negotiating my salary for this job, I also got a moving allocation of $4,000, which I used less than $2,000 to actually move, and the rest put to debt, which almost got me out of debt. I also negotiated for a 6-month raise if they were satisfied with my services, which is how I went from a $42,000 salary to a $44,000 salary after I had been here for a while. So obviously that sort of raise isn't going to come along every day, and it wouldn't have happened this soon if I hadn't negotiated for it. So win number 3 is that shortly after I moved here, I became debt free. That moving allocation that I didn't use went to my debt, and then within my first month of working after I got settled in, I became debt free this year, and I don't owe anyone anything. Every single dollar that comes in my paycheck is mine, and I get to do what I want with it. And it is pretty much the financial win of my life thus far. I will have more, but this has been the best decision that I've ever made. And I have an entire channel that you're watching talking about that, so I'm not gonna harp on that too long. Win number 4 is that I saved 74% of a baby step 3 or a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, which I'm still saving into right now. I'm trying to get $10,000 in savings just in case something happens, something, you know, big and horrible, and that money will be there if I need it. And in 2017, I got that up to 74% or $7,400 and change. Win number 5 is I got moved to this apartment for free. I actually ended up making $90. It is a long story and I will link the video below, but I had rats in my old apartment through no fault of my own, and I got the apartment complex management to move me to a new, better apartment that did not have rats. So that's a really good story. You should click that video. And it is definitely a financial win because I am locked into this apartment for the next 2.5 years at the same rent I was paying at the old place, which is about 60% of what the rent of this place actually would be were I paying full price. All right, financial win number 6 is that I got to cash flow a trip to be a bridesmaid in another state. This is definitely something that I could have never done if I was still in debt, because it cost me around $500 to be a bridesmaid through tickets, dress, food, car rental, etc., all the travel and having to take off from work, and it was worth every single penny, but I couldn't have spared that money while I was still in debt. My final financial win is that I got to go to my first financial conference, FinCon 2017, for essentially free. I went as a guest because I was working at the video booth, and I only paid 1/4 of my room costs since I bunked up with some roommates at the conference. I got to learn a lot, I got to meet a ton of new people, and essentially I only paid for the cost of food and about $80 for a room, which was pretty insane considering that it was in Dallas. Overall, a huge financial win. Now let's talk about some things that weren't necessarily wins or fails, but some risks that I had to take in order to meet my money goals and to get to the place that I am today. First is that I took a job in an entirely different field. It was a related field, but I left journalism to come work in communications for a university. There was a chance that I wasn't going to like it or that it wasn't going to be a good fit for me. All I've done in my adult life so far is journalism, aside from like waitressing and being a nanny. And it was a big shift. It was an end to a career that I had worked a long time for. I became an editor of a newspaper, but in knowing that I was going to want to make more money, have better hours and better benefits for the rest of my working life, which is probably going to be another 30 years since I'm about 30 now, 30 years or more, I had to make some hard choices. And I'm very glad that I did it now and I went ahead and took that risk. Even though I was still in debt, it probably would have been smarter to wait until I was out of debt and had some money in the bank before taking a career move risk. But I'm very glad that I did it. And it made a huge difference in both my quality of life and the amount of money that I was able to put to first getting out of debt, now to savings, and in the future towards retiring and living a wonderful, full, and financially free life. It was a big decision, it was a scary decision, but it's one that I'm absolutely glad that I made. While doing that, I also moved to a new state where I knew no one. Again, I've done that 3 times now. It's never fun. It's always a little exciting, but it's always a little bit lonely. Fortunately, I have you guys on YouTube and the support of some wonderful friends that are scattered across the United States. But it's always a little bit hard moving somewhere where you know no one. And I've had you guys reach out to me on this before and say, how did you do that? I'd be too scared. But you can do it. You can absolutely do it, especially if it's in the pursuit of a better life. Now I'm in a much better financial place. 2017 really marked kind of a cornerstone year for me. I feel like I have shed off the stupid Sarah of the past who took out extra student loans to live off of and eat Taco Bell off of and buy stupid decor out of, and have embraced a new life. I am actually building a future for myself. It's a much, much better life. So if you made it all the way to the end of this incredibly long video, which we had to expect it would be, we're recapping an entire year here, people. I hope that you will leave me below some of your wins and fails for 2017. it was a big year, and maybe some of your goals for 2018. I have a whole lot, and I will be sharing them with you very soon, so you can continue to cheer me on in them, and hopefully I can do the same for you as well. So don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe to this channel if you haven't before. Check me out this Friday at youtube.com/Dave Ramsey Show to watch me do my debt-free scream and really kind of put an end to the part of my life where I had debt. It's all up from here, and I hope you will join me along the way. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.